this is a very interesting reading for me. This overall is giving me a lot of nurturing and healing energy that just came out. I've been utilizing the astro alignment deck that I recently just bought, and it goes over the astrological transits. All right, so I shuffled, I pulled an amount of 10 cards here. All right, Neptune has come out. The energy of the equinox came out. First house, supermoon. Third house, Cancer, solstice, quincunx, Vesta, and fixed energy. All right, what blew my mind overall was when I pulled the tarot to go with each card. I shuffled, I pulled one out of, the deck for each specific card, and what came out was the Page of Pentacles next to the first house, the Knight of Pentacles next to the energy Vesta. I had the Queen of Pentacles come out next to Equinox, and the King of Pentacles came out next to the energy of Cancer. For me, this is definitely an overall energy of maturity here. All right, this definitely has a lot to do with the grounded energy within, the stability of what you value here. Overall, this reading is giving me spirituality. Okay, what I see here is the first card that came out was the energy of Neptune. All right, so Neptune speaks of mysticism, spirituality, and escapism. All right, so this could be you dealing with a lot of illusions, confusion, and fantasy when it comes to whatever it is that you dream of. And whatever it is that you dream of here is your happily ever after, your 10 of cups, right? This energy is Mars and Pisces. So being that the energy of Pisces came out right next to Neptune, this is a domicile energy. Neptune is currently in Pisces in transit, in Aquarius, your second house. All right, so this has to do with the value of spirituality. All right, Pisces is very creative. It's you using your imagination, all right, in order to, I want to say, express your feelings. Okay, because the energy of cups is all about emotions. All right, and then we had the card Equinox come out. This one is giving me basically us going through the, halfway through the energy of the spring equinox. This one speaks of your commitment, your integration, and the shifts. All right, so the balance and the intentions that you set within your manifestations that you started at the beginning of the spring equinox, which started in the cusp of Pisces season and Aries season. Okay. The only reason I say that we're halfway through the spring equinox is because now we're going into the summer solstice, which begins on June 21st, and that's the beginning of Cancer season here. So a lot of the grounded energy here is going to be transitioning. All right, and I feel the focus is going to be more on the emotional happiness here. All right, what makes us feel more grounded. All right, utilizing the energy of Neptune in the second house, which is the house of Taurus. All right, it's earth element. Here we have the first house that came out. The first house is where you embody what it is that you want to express out into the world. This talks about the self, the body, and the presence. All right, this is the impression that you want to put out there when you deal with people face to face, right? Being that the Page of Pentacles is here, I feel like the Page of Pentacles speaks of you being very studious, right? That's just you, the beginning of the spring equinox begins here in Aries season, which is the first house, right? So I feel that we are now going into the fourth house. If you think about the energy on the astrological chart is the energy of Cancer, right? And the fourth house has a lot to do with the energy of comfort, of home, of basically like the stability within your inner emotions here. All right, well, technically, the fourth house, Aquarius, for you is going to be, um, you know, that's like the house of home. All right. So, the other thing that brought this all to my attention was the fact that I pulled all 10 of each suit in tarot. Okay. Here I have the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Swords, the 10 of Wands, as well as the 10 of Pentacles. All right. So whatever stability you were looking for, whatever legacy you were trying to build here, I feel that you've definitely been putting in a lot of work, being that we have every court card, okay, here, just meaning there's a sense of maturity here as you go through the stages of the transits that we're experiencing currently. All right, so emotionally, this has to definitely do with the intellectual side of your mind, right? The 10 of Wands, releasing any heavy burdens, any physical, burdens that you may have, and really coming into the energy of feeling grounded, right? With the 10 of Pentacles there. Okay. All right, so we pulled the energy of the supermoon. The supermoon, it says luminosity, intimacy, and hyper awareness. The first supermoon of 2023 is happening on July 3rd, and this is going to be happening in the sign of Capricorn. All right, so that is going to be the next full moon that we experience in this cardinal moon cycle that we're going to be going through. And Capricorn happens to be Aquarius, your 12th house. So this has to do with the energy of Pisces, right? The energy of, I want to say what it is that you, what are your inspirations? Whatever, what you want to be creative about. What are your dreams, right? So with it being in Capricorn, Capricorn is the energy of the 10th house, and it has to do with your career. All right, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve here. The 10 of Swords actually fell over the supermoon. The 10 of Swords is the sun in Gemini. This card specifically speaks of, the ending of a difficult cycle here. All right, it definitely has to do with the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Just the ending or the completion of a sense of mental confusion. All right, and I'm feeling though, whatever that is that's pertaining to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, it could be some sort of communication with the energy of Gemini being here. Okay, you may want to start a spiritual channel. That's what I'm trying to do here. All right, but definitely something's gonna be illuminated for you at that super moon on July 3rd in the full moon of Capricorn. All right, the only reason I say that it could have something to do with spiritual work or communication, doing something possibly online, I have the 3rd house that came out with the Page of Swords. Now, as I mentioned, there is all 4 court cards of the suit of Pentacles here, okay? But here we have, and we start off with the Page of Swords, all right? The Page of Swords is basically a new cycle that's going to begin for us here. And the Page of Swords for me is you learning something about communication. Specifically in this card, the light bulbs are pointing up from above. All right, she's holding a book in her hand, so you could definitely be gaining a lot of knowledge at this time, being very studious or curious about something here, and it falling next to the 3rd house. This could have to do with something with communication. All right, it also says here communication, transportation, and local community. All right, so you could be doing transportation work here, you could be doing communication work here. What definitely caught my eye was the astrological opposition to the 3rd house is the 9th house, and that 9th house speaks of higher knowledge. It speaks of spirituality and foreign travel as well. All right, so definitely gave me a sense of spiritual work. And then we have here the energy of Cancer that came out. So Cancer is all about nurturing, being sensitive, and caring. All right. The fourth house is Cancer's energy. I just said that. It speaks of the energy of you being very in your comfort, nurturing yourself. Okay. It speaks of your deep emotional feelings. All right. Definitely you being very protective, and I feel that that's why the King of Pentacles came out here. The King of Pentacles, he is the provider for the family. You know, he's the one that's very stable. um, it's just giving me the energy of overall bossing up within yourself, right? And this is definitely has been a wish fulfillment with you with the Nine of Cups being here. This is the energy of Jupiter and Pisces. All right, Jupiter is definitely in its domal energy here in Pisces. All right, so this Nine of Cups meaning that pretty much whatever you touch will turn to gold. Okay, Jupiter is the planet of good luck. It's about expansion and growth. All right, and if that is pertaining to Cancer energy, we have the sun coming up in Cancer on June 21st. We have, you know, a lot of transits moving into the energy of Cancer, which technically, I believe it's Juno that's going to be moving into Cancer as well. Juno is the asteroid of um, partnerships, all right, marriage. So this could definitely be pertaining to a commitment that you want to make here. This could be within a home, or, you know, a commitment that you made within yourself. All right, because I see here with the Ten of Wands, it's like you're no longer carrying heavy responsibilities. You are putting down heavy burdens, all right, and you're releasing the energy of stress. All right, and this card specifically is the energy of Saturn and Sagittarius. All right, so anything that seems to be blocking you in a way where you cannot focus on your higher knowledge, you're letting that go. All right, so I feel that's why the reason that the solstice came out next to this. All right, the solstice, we're now going into the summer solstice. All right, starting off with the energy of Cancer, starting off that summer solstice. All right, this is a transition, all right, amplification, and the energy of focus here. So I just want to show you guys that. All right, very important that you let go of things that no longer serve you, so that way you can really focus on what it is that you are trying to create here and what it is that your manifestations are. All right, it's funny because the cards came out exactly like this. I pulled equinox and solstice fell right under, so this definitely has a lot to do with the astrological transits that are happening right now. All right, and the very first card that came out for us was Neptune. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and we are currently in this transit in the second house, and this definitely has a lot to do with, number one, your financial status. This could have to do with the values and the possessions that you have, all right, around you. If this is pertaining to a home, this is you definitely balancing out the budget right now, not overspending. All right, and if this has to do with the value within yourself, I feel that you are valuing more of the energy of spirituality rather than anything materialistic right now. All right, so the Lovers card came out. This is Gemini energy, and it came out with the energy of quincunx. It says dissonance, adjustment, and discord. All right, so the Lovers card for me is the energy of if you're having to make a decision here, that could be one representation of it, or this could definitely be pertaining to an actual love interest. Okay, so you're making adjustments right now due to some sort of discord that could be happening. This could be in a friendship, in a relationship, all right, some sort of contract that you could be in. All right, we have Vesta that came out right after. The energy of Vesta, this is the asteroid of basically spirituality. It speaks of your inner spark, the sacrifice and devotion that you have towards something. This is an asteroid that represents the inner spark within yourself, all right, what it is that makes you feel at home. Okay, and the Knight of Pentacles came out with that card. The Knight of Pentacles speaks of you being dedicated and devoted, all right, and loyal to building something here. It's slow and steady, but it's basically slow and steady to win the race, right? Overall, we have fixed energy here. Fixed energy is very stubborn, but takes action, has momentum, and is very dedicated to winning And I feel that that's why the Six of Wands came out. This is Jupiter in Leo energy. All right. Leo, Aquarius for you is your opposing sign. All right. So this has to do with relationships. This has to do with partnerships. This has to do with any sort of contracts that you're in right now or want to be in right now. Okay. So again, pulling all completed energy in the suits. The 10 of every, of every suit is here. So there's a completion here. I feel that we are now moving into the summer solstice. We're definitely manifesting new things here, starting in the energy of Cancer. And then here with the equinox, it's like we're halfway there with the manifestations that we've made at the beginning of the year, which the year in astrological terminologies are going to be the energy of Aries, right? The first house. And that's why the first house came out here. All right, first house is here. You started off with the Page of Pentacles. You have now utilized the fire within you, all right, to move on to the following stage. You've stayed loyal and dedicated to this, all right. Now that you're halfway there, you have become very nurturing, caring, loving, all right, and valued yourself. And this is why, starting here in Cancer season, you are now this King of Pentacles. We're now focusing on the Page of Swords, all right? Really focusing on what it is that we need to communicate with the third house being here. I just want to mention Chiron right now is in Aries, and that is technically Aquarius, your third house. So this could be you opening up and speaking your truth in order to heal, all right? So that could be in a way where you're learning how to do that, and then you can be doing this on social media, and this is why I'm doing this here on YouTube. Okay. I do have a few oracle cards I want to pull here. I do have one from the Higher Self Oracle deck. All right, and this one definitely speaks of you touching base with your intuition. All right, let's just see what comes out. Yeah, you definitely could be feeling lots of fear at this time. All right. I want to mention that we have what is it? Scorpio. All right, the energy of the South Node in Scorpio in your 10th house. The 10th house speaks of your career. It speaks of the achievements that you want here. All right, and the energy of Scorpio is basically the energy of transformation. It has to do with your deep emotional feelings. It has to do with the fear that you have of things, right? I feel that this is definitely something that has to do with this spirituality, or the energy that you need to go into in order to communicate what it is that you're learning. You're learning something here. And for me, this is the energy of spirituality that I'm able to share with you guys. Okay. I am an Aquarius, for those that don't know. And this has been a long journey for me as well. I actually started last year in the summertime. So that was one of my manifestations during the last summer solstice. All right, definitely. I just said that it has a lot to do with you touching base with your intuition. All right, everyone holds an inner intuition. It's the way to utilize it. And for me, I like to use the moon cycles, all right, in order to touch base with my intuition. So we've just experienced a mutable moon cycle after the new moon eclipse happened on April 20th in Aries. It kind of threw off the mutable energy, but we went and experienced a first quarter moon in I believe it was Virgo. Okay, and then we had a full moon in Sagittarius, and then we had the last quarter moon in Pisces. So the last quarter moon speaks of surrendering. It speaks of completion before we move on to a next the next new moon cycle, and that one's going to be coming up here shortly. It's going to be in Gemini. All right, it's going to be happening on, I believe, June 18th, Father's Day. All right, so Definitely a lot of open communication. A lot of people could be out traveling right now. All right, the third house is the ruling planet for Gemini. It has a lot to do with transportation. Again, I said that. Communication, local community, short travel. Has a lot to do with like schools. So, you know, kids are getting out of school at the time. All right. Let's see what else. Has a lot to do with siblings as well. Okay. So whatever that is that pertains to you, you know, you could be spending a lot of time with family as well. As Pentacles definitely represent the energy of home and family, stability. All right, you should be focusing on clearing your energy at this time. All right. I don't have the energy of Sagittarius out here, which definitely speaks of like the Temperance card. It's the energy of healing. Or I don't have the Four of Swords out here that speaks of needing to meditate and take a break, right? Take a step back so that you are able to rest and rejuvenate. But Spirit is coming through and saying that whatever it is that you fear here, utilize your intuition, clear your energy so that you can touch base, right? Yeah, I just said this. Thank you. Patience, all right? The Temperance card is what the energy I was getting in my head. My intuition is telling me that you need to heal and have patience within yourself before you step out and start something new. All right. Okay, let me just pull these to the side. I have my crystal oracle deck here. I haven't been really using my crystals as much. But pertaining to this reading, it could be significant because there is a big emphasis on us moving into a new cycle. All right, we have Juno moving into Cancer. We have the Sun moving into Cancer. We just had Mercury join the energy of its domicile, you know, sign, which is Gemini. All right, we're still with the Sun in Gemini at this time. Okay, and even Juno in Gemini is basically having partnerships with those that you're able to open up and communicate with. So transits are changing, energy is changing, and I feel like we're releasing any sort of fear, dropping any heavy burdens, moving on from things that no longer serve us, and really focusing on what the next journey is, or what the next challenge is what I should say. All right, we have the 10 of each suit. There's the completion of every single aspect in tarot here. There's new opportunities coming, and I can feel it. All right, let's see. I have the amber crystal here. It says healing family patterns, releasing karma, preserving the wisdom gained by the lessons of the past. So I feel that the transits that have been happening now have been causing a lot of tension, specifically within the energy of the family, right? The energy of home. I want to talk a little bit about the transits that were currently happening before Pluto transitioned and, you know, all the transits according to the fixed energy, which Aquarius, you are a fixed sign, all right? So we just had Pluto in Aquarius, all right, that actually transited over into retrograde into Capricorn, all right? That was in your first house. So Pluto in your first house is the energy of transformation within yourself, all right? We had the energy of the North Node. We had Jupiter. We had the asteroid of Vesta. We have the energy of Uranus, all in the fourth house in Aquarius. That's Taurus energy, right? That speaks of major change coming in, right, within the home environment. Over on the opposite side, squaring that energy, is going to be the energy of Mars and Leo. Mars and Venus in the energy of Leo here, all right? And that's your 7th house. That's pertaining to relationships, partnerships, contracts, and things like that. And then we have the South Node. You still have the South Node in your 10th house, Scorpio energy, all right? So that definitely has a lot to do with the transits and the energy of tension that was happening, all right, within your chart. So I'm going to leave the reading there. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll touch base soon.